Hey everybody, welcome back. So if you've watched the channel for any period of time, you'll know that I have always had problems with seeing close up, and especially since my cataract surgery, now I have 20/20 vision from the tips of my fingers out, but inside things get progressively blurry to the point where I can't see anything at all a foot away from my face. So I got multiple pairs of glasses, I got jeweler's loupes, I have this light that has a ring light in it and different levels of magnification in it. I even a while back made this contraption here, which holds a smartphone, and you can use the smartphone's light and the camera app and raise it and lower it, and even a magnifier app to see things close up. And of course I have several of the Harbor Freight, head-mounted magnifiers. And they all work okay for some things. They all have their drawbacks, and I've never been really happy with any of it. And now I have some work to do, where I want to know, the numbers on tiny chips. And maybe, I actually want to start some of my projects where I want to be able to paint small faces. And maybe I'd like to be able to do those things, but boy, I'd sure like to be able to see close up better. So the nice people at Joyalens must have felt my pain, because they sent me this. This is their model JL246MS, 3-lens, 7-inch LCD HDMI digital microscope, 24 megapixels for soldering, for painting, for coins, for circuit boards. Comes with 3 different lenses. Comes with a metal stand with a boom arm, 32 gig card, remote control, comes with a bunch of stuff. I haven't even opened the box yet. So we're in this together, as Red Green used to say. Okay, first thing, we have a user manual, specifications, nice pictures, barcodes, QR codes for video demonstrations. Ooh, nice illustrations, I like that. Quick start, how to choose the lens. Digital zoom, how to save the files. Ooh, really nice pictures. And we have a components list. What's in the box, I guess. That's nice. Still want it out of there. Let's get it out of there. We have some foam. We have a warning. This must be the screen. Wow, there's a lot of pieces, it looks like. It looks like an HDMI cable. We have a set of control buttons with a lot of cabling to them. We have the remote, the power brick. There's a micro SD card. There is, oh, that looks like a light maybe. Looks like maybe a light. We have some of the lenses in this box. This is the boom arm. It is all metal, looks and feels cast aluminum. Here is another arm, and there is the base with 2 more lights. All right, I'm going to get this out. I'm going to get this all put together. First step was to put the straight length of arm onto the base, and it just threads in. And the next step, they want you to put the boom arm on, which slides on like that, and then you tighten the little screw back here. All right, the next step, they say to take the screen, unscrew these screws, and remove the lens, and don't drop it. I don't know what to say, except they don't know me very well if they're telling me not to drop something. I guess they have to come all the way out? I don't know. Let's find out. There we go, lens is out. Now they show insert the protrusion into the slot, assemble the lens, and tighten the screws. Okay, so they want this to go in here. All right, how come? Oh, I'm doing it upside down, I'll bet you. I'll bet you I'm doing it upside down. I bet it goes like that. All right, that's in. You got to be 3% smarter than what you're working on, something which I have been known to struggle with. Now we're going to put the lens back in. And I don't think it matters which way it goes. It can be 180. Oh, it fits in a set of slots too. You know what? That's nice. I don't hate that. All right, next thing it says is metal clips assembly step. And they go down on the base to hold the part you're working on. Okay, I put the little clips on. Don't know if you can see them down there. I'll show them to you. That might not be anything I really need to use, but I like the fact that there's threaded holes down there and clips so I can 3D print a fixture if I need it. Next step, they say, when observing with lens D, slot in the DC power supply. This appears to be something that you would use if you use one of the little sample slide dishes. Well, I believe I have the initial quick setup done. Now this control that has the 3 buttons on it is power on and off, and then brightness up and down. And it has 3 cables coming out. One, the USB-A goes to the power brick, USB-C goes to the upper, and the back one can go to power these back lights, or it can also go to this slide holder if you're using the slide. So let's power it on. And you'll see the lights can be brightened and dimmed, which is actually kind of nice. Now the next step is how to choose a lens. Lens L, working distance 90 to 300 millimeters, magnification 60 to 240, and 3 times digital zoom, output the 28-inch HDMI monitor. Not sure what exactly that means other than I can plug it into a monitor. Application: circuit board, observe, watch repair, etc. So little tiny things would be L. Then we have lens A. We actually have 3 lenses, don't we? Lens A, working distance 12 to 320 millimeter, magnification 18 to 720, with 3 times digital zoom, output the 28-inch monitor. Application: observe whole side or a part of coins, stamps, circuit board, observe, etc. And then we have lens D, which is working distance 4 to 5 millimeters. Lens A must be the one that's already in it. Is that correct? And because in this box here, I have lens L, and then I have lens D. So lens A is already in it. All right, I have lens A in the microscope. I have this little Arduino Uno under it because I can't find that other thing I had right now. I have the boom at its maximum height, and there is a focus ring right where you see my thumb. And you can get it with your thumb and your forefinger, and you can then focus this. Oh, there we go, right there is pretty good. Let's lower it down. And then there's another up and down movement here. We can adjust here. Let me turn it and show it to you. We can adjust our main height right here like this. But then we have a kind of secondary fine height adjustment right here. And it looks like we have about, what do we have? About maybe 2 inches of adjustment there, something along those lines. So that's its full height right there. Let's move it closer and let's see how close this lens can get. So first off, let's move our fine distance adjustment down. That's how far that went down. And let's move the main down. And let's go down as low. And I see there's also a ring on it lower that prevents it from going too far down and probably smacking it into your the part you're trying to view. And let's see if I can focus there on it. And I can swivel from side to side. All right, that's keyed, so it can't go like this, but I can go in and out like that. Let's see if I can focus that. Absolutely I can. My goodness. That is, you certainly wouldn't have any trouble reading part numbers at that distance, that's for sure. Let's go back up to the top and let's look at that small head that I might want to paint. So if you were trying to hold this and paint it, this is the view you would be getting. Oh my goodness, that's pretty good. That might even let me paint that. This is not the one I showed you earlier. I had to print a second one. This one cracked on me for whatever reason. But I did get an initial primer on this and you can see the details better. I think even I could paint that like that. It's going to get some getting used to not looking at that, instead looking at the screen. Okay, this is lens L. One thing that would be nice is if you did not have to completely remove the screws to change the lenses, because that just invites people like me to lose them. Wow. Okay, that is definitely close up. And we at our max height? No, our max height is up here. And then we would focus in again. There we go. Wow. That is close. Let's see how close I can get with this lens now. Can I get that close? Going the wrong way. No, can't get quite that close. Let's go up a little bit. Okay, it looks like right about there is my max. Wow. Is my, good grief. That's about my max, my max closeness that I can get with that lens. And you can reposition the little lights to let you get, yeah, if you wanted to read the number on a chip, that would probably be a good way to do it. See if I can get it in there again. Yeah, I can even I can read that. LM35891M GM184G4. So that would be one way to do it. Wow, that's really close. What's our head look like at that distance? Yeah, that's almost, I would say I'm going to have to come up a little bit. This is probably going to require way too fine of a focus, meaning almost anything is going to be, any movement up or down is going to place you out of focus. Yeah, that would might be a bit much. Although if you're doing them little itty bitty tiny figurines with the heads the size of a pin, you might want something that close. That's pretty impressive. Okay, I have the D lens in now. One thing that is nice is they have put brass inserts in for the screws that hold the lens in. Let's see how close we have to get this to focus. Holy cow. That's so close I'm not even sure how you'd get light on it. Wow. Okay. Obviously a circuit board like this with all the components on it might not be an option for something like this. This is just a little bit, has to be a little bit too close. Yeah, that is, see if I can get one of these smaller components under it. There we go, right there. That's one of those tiny surface mount components. I don't know personally that I would ever have a reason for any magnification this huge. This is a quarter. I haven't even tried this yet. To try the slide holder, we have to unplug the lights off the back, and then we plug that into there, I think. And that lets us use the slide. And the slide holder doesn't have a lens in it. It's just a light. So what I would do is get one of the slides they gave us. And it looks like the slides they gave us have some samples in them. Is that the case? I'm not sure, actually, honest with you, how to use the slide holder. I haven't done this probably since they made me look at dead frogs in grade school. So that is how you do that. I have no idea what that thing I'm looking at is, and to be quite honest, I don't really want to know what that thing I'm looking at is. Does it say on the slide? Yes, it does. Can I read it? I cannot read it, of course. That's why I have a microscope, because I can't read anything close up. Let me get a pair of glasses that might let me read that. So that is a Musca domestica, compound eye loading, whatever that is. I really don't want to know any more about that than that, to be quite frank with you. Along with Musca domestica, we have pine stem, epidermis of onion, honeybee wing, honeybee worker leg, and that's it. Let's look at honeybee leg. That doesn't sound too horribly disgusting. And again, I'm sure we could get up much closer to this with one of the other lenses. Let's see how close we can get with this one. This lens has a very large focus range. There we go. If you ever wanted to know what a honeybee leg looks like, there you have it. All right, let's take a look at the functionality of these buttons on the front of the screen. One, the power button obviously turns the power to it on and off, but that is also available to you as well as dimming and brightening the lights with the side control. The M button turns you into mode and menu. Obviously there's a playback mode in there as well. So if you've recorded something, you would do that. Then you would press the up and down buttons. Oh, this also changes screen resolution, 4032 by 3024, FHD P60. Yeah, this changes the resolution in the video format. These buttons go up and down in the menu controls. OK selects, and the camera button either starts a video or takes a picture. So I have used the cable they provided, which be aware is regular HDMI on one end and mini HDMI that plugs into this end, and I have plugged it over into my large monitor over here, and you can see that just works perfectly. So you can view it through here, you can play back through a large monitor, and yeah, you could you could get a very, very large view of something very, very small with this. So let's give the remote a quick test. Note that it takes 2 AA batteries, and I did not find any in the box, so I had to put some in it. And we can move the brightness of the screen up and down. Can we? Brightness of the screen. Oh, there we go. I have to point it at it. Sorry. There we go. Brightness of the screen up and down. Can bring up the menu. Can work the menu options from it. Can take it, can change the modes. It also works to zoom in and out, the digital zoom in and out on this as well, because there is digital zoom available on this device. So the other day I was using this to solder some fine wires onto the end of an LED light strip for my 3D printer enclosure, and I discovered an interesting thing, and it's not so much as something that is specific to this particular magnifier, but something I think that is going to happen with any time you have something with a remote screen, and that is I was having a really terrible time forcing myself to look at the screen and not the part that I was soldering, which of course was way too small for me to see. Every time I would get the soldering iron and the solder down to where I needed to solder, my eyes would automatically go to the little part that I couldn't see instead of to the screen. It was very frustrating. I realized that it's just a learning curve issue, and that practice and training I would get over it, but it is something I think worthy of note if you're going to consider it for that you might have a learning curve to deal with. So after 3 days of using this and fooling around with it and working with it, what do I think of it? This is the Joyalens JL246MS3 lens 7-inch LCD screen microscope, and I have to admit I really enjoyed using it. It was very easy to set up. It worked right off the bat. It's easy to figure out and understand. For inspection purposes, I think it's fabulous. For classroom purposes, the remote control and the ability to plug it into a large screen that you might have mounted up on a wall is absolutely fabulous. For working on things, like watchmaking or miniature painting or soldering, It absolutely shows a beautiful screen of what you're working on, but as I mentioned before, I do think you are going to have a learning curve trying to make yourself work on something and look at the screen at the same time. Maybe you won't have that learning curve at all. I know I did, but I think the device itself is fantastic. It is currently $140 on Amazon, and I do believe there is a 20% off coupon at the moment. And if I can get any other kind of deal on it, I will let you know down below. But if you want something like this, I think you'd like this one a lot. And for the price, I think it's fantastic. I want to thank Joyalens for sending this out for us to check out. I want to thank you guys for watching my videos, liking and subscribing and using my links. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.